Welcome back to Module 2, Lesson 4. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we are breezing through this. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about audience engagement. We're going to talk about all about captions, what you need, and how to create a genuine connection with your audience. So the reason that I preach this so much is because brands are realizing that engagement rate is more valuable than the amount of followers that you have. The reason for this is that there are a lot of accounts who buy fake followers or they have a lot of followers but they don't really have a genuine connection with them, which means they don't have an influence over them, which means can't get them to click on the link or buy the product that they are promoting. And brands are finding that people who do have a genuine connection with their audience and it shows on their page are more able to influence people to buy the products that they're promoting, which in turn is more valuable to the brand. So brands want to see that you have a consistent, engaged audience. So how do you accomplish this? So when you're creating content, I want you to consider these three things. One, what kind of value are you bringing to your audience? Now, this one is huge. The Instagram game has changed. We all know the algorithm has changed from being in chronological order to showing the most popular posts first. So at first, when travel bloggers, fashion bloggers, foodies, whatever else started posting amazing photos, it was really easy for them to just stand out and be at the top. But now so many people are in this industry that it's getting harder and harder to stand out in a sea of content. It isn't enough to just post an epic photo of a waterfall and hope it does well. And it isn't enough to only talk about your travel experiences, where you go, how epic or not so epic it was. But one thing people can never get enough of is value. So next time you write a caption, think about what kind of value it is bringing to your audience. Are you sharing a personal story that can help others who are going through the same situation or have similar feelings? Are you giving valuable knowledge about a certain topic? Are you advocating for a greener planet or spreading awareness about an issue that is important to you? The best way to stand out in a sea of content is just by being you. No one else has the same personality, experience, goals, knowledge, or style as you, so capitalize on that shit and make sure you are bringing value to your audience and giving them a reason to follow you. So, the next thing I want you to consider is how much time you are spending engaging with others. Your own engagement is key. How can you expect your followers to show you love if you aren't showing them love right back? If you just post a photo and turn off the app, I'm going to guess that you have trouble getting your photos seen. What I found works best for me is after I post, I'll spend the next hour or two engaging with new accounts. And I don't just do this with any new accounts. So, this is what I call the rabbit hole of engagement. I'll go down my feed, find someone who has the same sort of niche as me. I'll show them love, and then I'll go to their comments, find someone who has the same niche, the same amount of following, go on and comment their photos, find someone in their comments, and down the rabbit hole you go. This is by far one of the most effective strategies that you can use to grow your profile. Now, I found the best way to do this is to be genuine. If you're just leaving comments that say, great pic or awesome view, that's not really a great way to stand out because there's so many accounts who do leave comments like that. But what I suggest is reading their captions. If they have a long caption, take the time to read it and share your own opinion on whatever they're saying. Let your own personality shine through your comments. And that not only is a great way to stand out to them, but other people who are commenting will see that and they'll be like, wow, that person had a really good thing to say. Like, I'll go check them out. Whereas if you just post amazing pic, nobody's really going to take a second look at your account. I've also found my sweet spot seems to be commenting on 2 photos and liking 6 photos. Now, you can play around with this and see what works best for you, but that's what I found works best for me. No, I don't follow every single account that I do this to, but I tend to get a lot of results. So if you're following everything I say, if you're creating engaging content yourself, they go out and check your profile, they're going to want to follow you. If you're providing value, you're doing all these things I'm telling you, it's going to be so easy for you guys to grow using this method. Now, you also don't have to do this right after you post if you don't have time, because the time you post is also really important, which we'll go over later. But as long as you do this for 1 or 2 hours, at least once a day, you will see amazing growth. The more time you spend on this, the more engagement you will see on your own photos as well, which will boost their performance. I also see so many people who don't respond to their own comments. So my next tip is to respond to all your comments. Like I said before, how can you expect people to keep giving you love if you aren't giving it back? Respond to all your comments. Not only does this improve your engagement by having twice as many comments on your post, but people will feel appreciated and will want to continue to show you love. So the last thing that I want to talk about is, what time are you posting? Time is a huge factor in how well your posts will do. So I use the app Unum, which gives you detailed analytics hour by hour of the best time for you to post each day, as well as your best performing hashtags and all these other analytics. It's a really great app. I encourage you guys to download it. No, this is not affiliated. I just really love it. But the performance of your photo depends on how well it does within the first hour. So you want to post when most of your followers are on. And if you're having trouble finding the right hashtags, this extra little tip that I'm giving you guys is I use displaypurposes.com. It's a free website that does all the hashtag research for you. This has taken my hashtag game from like 500 views to 20,000 views with 5,000 followers. I'm not kidding. This website is amazing. So it weeds out the overused hashtags, the overpopulated one, the broken ones. It weeds out all of those for you and gives you the best hashtags to use for that day. All you have to do is type in your niche, a location, or a topic, anything like that, and it'll give you the best hashtags to use. So it is important to use relevant hashtags. That's a really good way that brands are going to find you and to bring the right people to your content. I also want to say that if you're using the same hashtags over and over, just make sure that you delete them off your last post, because if you use it too many times, Instagram can find this spammy and they'll shadow ban you. This lesson has an attached hashtag strategy guide for you guys, so please feel free to check that out. I know the algorithm can be frustrating at times, but it doesn't have to be. If you use these methods, I'm 100% sure that your reach will grow, your audience will grow, and this is going to get you one step closer to financial freedom from being a content creator. So the next thing we're going to talk about in this lesson is creating engaging captions. So captions are so important, not only for your followers, but like I said before, brands like to see that you have a genuine connection with your audience, and utilizing your captions to show this is one of the best ways to get noticed. I see so many people with accounts that have over 10,000 followers who ask me why they aren't landing brand deals. I go and check their page and all they have are generic one-liner captions, or all they talk about is how much they love traveling. So if it's not working for you, it's because your captions are too generic, too random, or they don't provide helpful information. So what should you be posting in your captions? So we've kind of gone over this before. You want your captions to be informative or provide knowledge over the subject that's typically within your niche. Another really amazing way to create a connection with your audience and make engaging captions is to share your personal stories. This will help you seem so relatable and evoke emotions, which we've talked about before. We are emotional beings, we act on emotion. So if you're able to withdraw that from your captions and make others feel what you're feeling through your personal story, they're going to want to continue following, they're going to want to share your story, and this is a great way for your profile to grow. Going along with that, you want your story, you want your information, whatever it's you're sharing, you want it to have a message and you want it to be valuable to your audience. Now, I'm not saying that every single caption needs to be this way. There's a few times where I'm just like, happy Friday, guys. I'm just popping in to hope you all have a wonderful day. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. I hope you all get to pet a stranger's dog today. Something along the lines of that. But even that provides value because it's uplifting, and again, it provides emotion. You can also ask questions in your captions to help them be more engaging. Now, at first, I struggled with this a little bit because I didn't have a lot of followers who were already engaged, so I would post a question and then nobody would answer, and it felt a little embarrassing. But don't stop doing it, because now, after working on all these things that I've taught you guys, If I ask a question on my caption, I get so many responses to it, and it's an amazing feeling. So don't give up on that. Asking questions is a really great way to help engage with your audience. So, like I said, I struggled with this at first. So, if you struggle with this, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with you. This isn't like a life skill we were just born with. If you have to work at it, that's okay. In the beginning, I wasn't used to sharing my life on there. I absolutely feared judgment from others, but it does get easier, and you will be amazed at the support you receive when you share your personal stories. You don't just want to preach good vibes to everybody, but truly be real and relatable. When you are being open and real, you are actually helping people who have been through the same thing. So not only can you make amazing connections with people by opening up, but you'll be surprised at how many lives you impact just by being you. So dig deep, get personal and raw, and utilize the one thing that nobody else in this world has, which is you. That's the best way you can stand out in a sea of content. So, some pointers for your captions are keep it long enough to be compelling but short enough to keep people interested. I try to keep most of mine around a paragraph or two. So, stick to one topic, keep it to the point. Most people like to quickly scroll through their feed, so if they see something that's longer than a few paragraphs, they typically aren't going to take the time to read it. The algorithm actually tracks how long someone spends on your post, so if your caption is too long and people are scrolling past, it's not doing you any good. Same for if your caption is too short. Not all your captions have to be the same though. It's okay to mix it up, but for the most part, I try to find a happy medium between long and short. It also makes it really easy to read if you break your paragraphs up. I use appsforlifehost.com and save it in my notes for easy access, but this is a really great site to use to add paragraph breaks in your captions. So we talked about asking questions, we talked about breaking your paragraphs up. The next thing we're going to talk about is what the algorithm typically likes to see. And by algorithm, I mean people. So what do people like to see? Bright colors, words, and photos that look like they have a powerful message. Animals always do really well, especially if you're in the photo too. But the thing that I found helps the most is when your face is in the photo because this makes you relatable. And like I said before, you want your photos to evoke emotion, and the best way to do that is by showing the emotion on your face. The algorithm tracks every little thing on Instagram, even what people are saying on your post. So have you noticed that an anniversary or birthday post does especially well? It's because the algorithm can see that people are congratulating you, so they think that your post must be something worth congratulating. Hence, they show more people. So if they see that people are truly engaged on your photos with what you're saying, with what the photo shows, then the algorithm is going to show more people your photo. And again, this is all about growth. So all of these things I'm teaching you are really going to help you grow. They're going to help you stand out, and they're going to help you get financial freedom as a content creator. So the last thing we're going to talk about in this lesson is other ways to increase your engagement and your following. So the first way I want to talk about is collabing with other creatives. This can either be like a photo shoot with them, this can be shout outs, this can be taking over each other's Instagram pages, anything like that to get in front of another person's audience is going to help you grow without doing all the hard engagement yourself. And it's also a great way to help them grow. Another thing you can do is giveaways. So if you sell your own products, like I sell my own presets in my ebook, hosting giveaways is a really great way to grow your audience, especially if you're giving away something that provides value. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you sell. It can be a gift card, it can be, you can collab with a brand, but if you encourage others to tag their friends and follow you to enter the giveaway, this is really going to increase your growth. And I just find it beneficial to do my own products because it's free. It doesn't cost me any money to give people my presets or my ebook. So that's something to think about in the future, which we will go over how to sell your presets later on in this course. But that is a really great way to increase your following. So we kind of briefly went over shoutouts. This is just when you and another creative collab, you give each other shoutouts, tell your audiences to follow that person. This is a really great way to grow your following and get your account seen. The next thing you can do, which this is something I've been really diving into for the past few months and it's increased my growth, insanely, but join Facebook groups. So there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that actually help influencers grow their profile. However, with that being said, you always want to make sure that the people who you attract are actually interested in what you're providing and are interested in your niche. So I would stray away from the follow for follow type engagements because typically these can be really unproductive. If there's a fashion blogger that has to follow you in order to get more followers herself, she's not interested in your posts. A lot of times people do these because they want more followers, but the people they're following, they don't really care about. They're only doing this for the followers. And oftentimes they will unfollow you a few weeks after the thread anyways. So I find that these are really unproductive. However, within these groups there are niche follows, which you can participate in, and you can also just share your page. Make sure that you're allowed to promote, first of all, because there's a lot of groups that don't allow self-promotion, but there are a lot of groups that do. So within the threads that are posted, there's a lot of people asking for tips on content creation, which is what I do. So I'm able to send them to my blog, I'm able to send them to my Instagram highlights, which I give a lot of tips and tricks on, and that way I'm able to get more followers. It's all about just putting your page out there, getting it seen, and the more ways you can do that, the better. So the last way that you can increase your following is by tagging larger pages to get featured. So one way of doing this is by looking at large pages, seeing the kind of content that they typically repost, and then tagging them in your content, in your similar content, making sure so that they see it and they'll repost it to their hundreds of thousands of followers or however many they have. Sometimes this can be super beneficial, other times you might only get 2 or 3 followers from it. But hey, 2 or 3 followers is better than not gaining any followers. So this is something that I definitely recommend. But that concludes this lesson. I hope you guys found value in that. I'm so excited to see you guys in the next lesson.